Imagine a single hill so strategic that thousands would fight, bleed, and die to control it. Monte Cassino. The ancient abbey perched high above the Liri Valley, an impenetrable fortress crowning the rugged mountains of central Italy. It was here, between January and May 1944, that one of the bloodiest battles of World War II raged. After the sweeping Allied landings in southern Italy, German troops dug in along the Gustav Line, a vast defense stretching from the Mediterranean to the Adriatic, designed to halt the Allied march toward Rome. Monte Cassino was their anchor, its towering heights bristling with artillery and machine guns. The Allies faced a grim fact. Breaking the Gustav Line meant storming Monte Cassino itself. The first attack came in January. Brits, Americans, French, Poles, New Zealanders, Indians, all thrown at the mountain, wave after wave. Rain turned the Valerie into a muddy graveyard. The abbey's slopes, laced with landmines and barbed wire, shredded entire battalions. Each assault was repelled, with horrific casualties. But the Allies were certain. German artillery was spotting from the 1,400-year-old abbey atop the hill. In February, American bombers roared overhead. The ancient monastery, a symbol of Western civilization, vanished beneath a storm of explosions. Dust and rubble filled the sky. But the bombing had a terrible irony. There were no Germans in the abbey until after it was destroyed. The moment the ruins settled, German paratroopers rushed in to turn the shattered monastery into a perfect fortress. Now, the Allies faced something even deadlier. A stronghold made of 20-foot-thick rubble, impossible to destroy twice. Another attack, then another. Countless men advanced through withering fire. French colonial troops scaling cliffs, Gurkhas wielding kukris, Polish soldiers charging with the hope of liberating Rome. The mountain's defenses held. For months, the drama played out. Troops inching forward with agonizing slowness, then being pushed back by mortars, machine guns, and well-sighted snipers. Medics dodged shells to reach the wounded. Nighttime patrols crept through moonlit olive groves, only to melt away at dawn under German guns. And all the while, the abbey's ruins loomed, silent witness to the suffering below. By May 1944, the Allies unleashed one final assault. Operation Diadem. 4 armies, British, American, French, and Polish, struck along a 20-mile front. Indian and British soldiers battered the town of Cassino from the south, drawing in German reserves. At the same moment, French forces surged through the mountains to the west, outflanking the line. But it would be the Poles, many of them exiled from a homeland occupied by both Nazis and Soviets, who finally stormed the abbey itself. Amid clouds of dust and smoke, they scaled the mountain under unrelenting fire. Their losses were staggering. On May 18th, the Polish flag rose above the ruins of Monte Cassino. The Gustav Line was broken. The road to Rome, at last, lay open. More than 55,000 Allied soldiers had fallen. German losses were heavy too. Civilians caught between armies suffered starvation, devastation, and horror. The ancient abbey, obliterated by war, would have to be rebuilt from the ashes. Monte Cassino became a symbol of sacrifice, determination, and the awful price of progress in war. Even today, the silent ruins and the endless rows of graves remind us. In the shadow of that mighty hill, the fate of a continent was decided, at a terrible cost. Wars are fought for ground, for glory, for freedom. But sometimes the true battle is for the soul of civilization itself. What would you have done, staring up at history's most infamous hill? Would you have climbed into those ruins for freedom, or retreated into the fog of memory? Next time, we'll unlock another chapter where war, hope, and humanity collide once again.